Hi, everybody. Here we are for science. We're starting, and this unit is going to be kind of lengthy too. It's about the human reproductive system. And so we're going to go into the anatomy of the human reproductive system. And we're also going to talk about um, health, uh, disease of the reproductive system. So it's going to be a little bit. So hang on. Wanted to first, let's take a quick look at our photograph and then we will get into the specifics. So we have the human reproductive system, which is um, basically consists of primary and secondary sex organs. But another part of the human reproductive system that this doesn't show is the brain, because the brain signals when puberty begins, when certain hormones will be excreted into the body um, to prepare the body for reproduction. So we will go into all of that, and any parts that we mention are parts that you will probably see on the tests. Know this human body. A lot of it you already know, but the more as we get more into the detailed science of reproduction, you're going to have to pay attention. So let's talk about sex, baby. Right? Let's talk about sex. That's what it's about. This is what we're talking about. So this is a picture from a sperm, and this is an egg. And as you can see, it's about to penetrate the egg. That is the moment of conception. So it says, voila, in 9 months, it's actually 10 months, a new son or daughter will be born. And this is a multicellular organism. It is an organ system, right? That's what humans are. Humans reproduce sexually. In human sexual reproduction, males produce sperm and females produce eggs, and a whole new offspring forms when a sperm unites with the egg. And so, how do eggs and sperm form? How do they arrive together at the right place in the right time? And that is exactly what it has to be in order to form a new offspring. And those all of the functions of the reproductive system. So here we go. First definition. What is the reproductive system? The reproductive system is the human organ system responsible for the production and fertilization of gametes. And gametes are specialized cells. They're either sperm or eggs. And in females, the carrying of a fetus. So all of that makes up the reproductive system. And both male and female reproductive systems have organs called gonads, specialized organs that produce gametes, sperm, or eggs. So a gamete is a haploid cell, and a haploid cell is a specialized cell which contains genetic material. In the case of a gamete, a sperm or an egg, it contains 23 chromosomes. The sperm cell carries 23 chromosomes. The gamete carries 23 chromosomes. They combine during fertilization and form a cell called a diploid. Di meaning two, right? Two diploid cells, which, if it has come together the right way, there will be 46 total chromosomes. If we do not have 46 total chromosomes, there will be a defect according to whichever chromosome is missing or damaged. This is where we see birth defects come in. Part of it. Okay. So, besides creating gametes, the gonads also produce sex hormones. And sex hormones are endocrine. Endo meaning inside, produced inside the body. They control the development of sex organs before birth, because if you have presence of certain sex hormones before birth, right, it assures whether you have a male or a female, or something that we can't distinctly describe as male or female scientifically. Um, so it signals puberty, signals the time of reproduction. And again, the brain is a part of the reproductive system, though we don't call it that, because without the brain giving the signal for these sex hormones to be released, you're not going to always have these things happening. So, where are we next? Sex differences in the reproductive system. So, the only thing that's different in males and females in the human organ system are the reproductive organs. Um, Everybody starts out as a female in early fetal development, but depending on the hormones in place, will the fetus differentiate or become male? So, how does this happen? So, starting around the 7th week after conception in a genetically male possessing an X and a Y, a gene called SRY acts on the Y chromosome and initiates proteins to develop gonadal tissue into male organs. And one of the gonads then secrete testosterone, which will trigger other changes in the developing. We're calling it an offspring, but by the 7th week, it is called a fetus. So it will develop a complete male reproductive system. Without that Y chromosome present, meaning you have two X chromosomes, you will have an embryo to develop female gonads, which are ovaries, and they'll produce female sex hormone, estrogen, and the estrogen will cause other organs to develop in the organ system. So this is where we start to have sex differences taking place right around week 7. So certain structures coming from the same tissues. So the tissue at the time before up to week 7, it's called homologous. Homo meaning same. The tissue is the same until the hormones take place, right? The hormones begin to act on that tissue. So the male testes and the female ovaries, those organs, are homologous, that develop from undifferentiated, the same gonads of the embryo. And the male penis and the female clitoris develop from the same embryonic tissue. The same. So then we have sex hormones in maturation. The reproductive systems are different at birth, okay, for males and females. They're different, but they're immature and cannot produce gametes, sperms or eggs, or sex hormones. However, the female is born with all of her egg supply at birth, but they are not released. So maturation of the reproductive system comes at puberty, when hormones from the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, the brain, stimulate the testes or the ovaries to start making sex hormones again. And the main sex hormones at this point are testosterone in males and estrogen in females. Keeping in mind, however, that we possess both, but it's the amount, okay? So women carry testosterone, men carry estrogen, but it's in different amounts. And it also was not present, depending on how much was present in birth, right? You'll have a male or a female. So then we have what are called at puberty, we begin to see secondary sex characteristics. They're not involved in reproduction. They're not involved in reproduction. Okay. Breasts are not a sex organ. So you talk about breasts coming present at puberty, hair on males as well. So those are secondary sex characteristics that come at the maturity of a male or a female. I'm going to go back all through all of this. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, because this is just basically an overview today. Then we have first our male reproductive system. So you have in normal development testes, which is plural, singular is testis for one, and it's enclosed in skin, which is referred to as the scrotum. This is the outside skin, and then above the enclosed in the testes is the epididymis, which is to store sperm. That is where sperm grows, matures, and it's held in the body. And so when you have the penis, which contains the urethra, which connects to the bladder. So there's one function, and then also it is the primary sex organ. It has the ability to stiffen during sexual arousal, and sperm passes through the urethra. You see, you have the bladder, you have the urethra. Well, sperm passes through the urethra during sexual climax or orgasm, and the release of sperm is referred to as ejaculation. So you also have ducts and glands inside the body. Okay, these are up inside the pelvic region. So you have the vas deferens here. Here's the vas, that's the pubic bone. That's the epididymis, seminal vesicle. The vas deferens is a duct. I don't see that duct. And it transfers sperm from the epididymis to the urethra. And there's our urethra here. And the glands also include the prostate gland, which is back here, almost closer to the backside. It is closer to the backside. And the seminal vesicles here produce fluids that become part of seminal semen. And semen is the fluid that carries the sperm through the urethra, there, and out of the body. It contains substances that control the acid balance of the fluid and provide the sperm with nutrients. So everything to help the sperm be viable, healthy. Within the female system, we have the body here. You have the two ovaries on each side. You have fallopian tubes on each side. And the ovaries are shaped like an egg, right? Ovid, and produce eggs, secrete estrogen. They also secrete estrogen. And they transport, then you have the fallopian tubes here that transport eggs from the ovaries to the uterus. They sit inside the cavity of the uterus. If an egg is fertilized, it usually occurs while it is traveling through a fallopian tube. The uterus is a pear-shaped muscle organ, which functions to carry a fetus until birth. It can expand greatly to accommodate a growing fetus, and its muscular walls contract forcefully during labor to push the fetus outside of the body. And the vagina here, this tube is actually the vagina, and it connects the uterus to the outside of the body. So this is actually the vagina. This exterior part is not the vagina, what we call a vagina. The vagina is here inside. And we talk about washing the vagina. You don't wash your vagina. You wash the vulva, the outside part. The vagina is capable of cleaning itself. It has an acid balance that keeps it healthy and the tissues healthy as well. So nothing is supposed to go in there other than sperm, or we'll talk about that, other things. So then we have the vulva, which is again what you see on the outside. And part of the vulva also is the clitoris, which is homologous, similar in form and function to the penis. Well, not for all functions. It also includes two parts of the labia, um, which surround and protect the openings of the urethra and the vagina. So when you open the outer vulva lips, you can see the labia. And so here in summary, and this has been a lot, the reproductive system is the organ system responsible for the production and fertilization of gametes, and in females, the carrying of a fetus. This is very small from what I can see. I expect you to pull this lesson out on your own. Both male and female reproductive systems have organs called gonads, testes in males, ovaries in females, that produce gametes, sperm or eggs, and sex hormones such as testosterone in males and estrogen in females. Sex hormones are endocrine hormones that control the prenatal development of reproductive organs and sexual maturation at puberty and reproduction after puberty. The reproductive system is the only organ system that is significantly different in males and females. A Y chromosome gene called SRY, is responsible for undifferentiated embryonic tissues. So at first, they're similar, developing a male reproductive system. Without the Y chromosome, the undifferentiated embryonic develop into the female reproductive system. Structures such as testes and ovaries come from undifferentiated embryonic tissues, and they are called homologous. They come from the same tissues. Male and female reproductive systems are different at birth, but at that point, they are immature and non-functioning. Maturation of the reproductive system occurs during puberty, when hormones from the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland in the brain stimulate the gonads, sperm or eggs, to produce sex hormones again, and those in turn cause puberty. Male reproductive hormones include the testes, epididymis, penis, vas deferens, prostate gland, and seminal vesicles. Female reproductive organs include the ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, vagina, clitoris, and labia. And then you've got a whole lot of review. What I want you to do is to watch this video and this video. One is about hormones and gender transition, and the other one about sex determination. Re-listen to my lesson and try to answer the questions. We will be going over the questions on Thursday. So that's all we have for now. Take care.